you. And that's just me being truthful, I'm brutal. Beat you to death with a pool noodle. You fucking toy poodles can't step to the fight, leaving him drinking every meal for the rest of his life, you bitch.
What's up, boys? We're live finally.
Oh, alright.
Hello.
We were just
discussing one of the greatest films of all time, Interstellar. So.
What? What are you discussing?
Nothing. No,
Interstellar?
Just disregard it.
Fine. We can move on from that discussion.
All right. So how is everybody? How was you guys' week? Full of CCL games. How did everybody's games go?
Yeah, my games were great. We staff team went 2-0. Really proud of us right now. Our league play record's incredible.
Do you guys actually play together, like as a team?
The last time I played with a staff member was probably when Jaybird and I played in Physics' 2v2 tournament. I think we played you round 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got fried.
Do you guys like play with Jaybird and all them? I haven't seen Jaybird online since Apex came out.
I haven't seen him online since Apex came out either, so
tough.
Your guess is as good as mine is.
I heard from him today.
I mean, me and Jaybird still talk all the time about a bunch of different things, but
all right. Anyway, so I want to talk about what I kind of already told you guys about this, but I want to talk about the South Carolina game because a lot of people, I got a lot of messages. I'm sure APOC got a lot of messages when he quit. Yeah, so there was a small lose where's your cam? Yeah, we asked the same question, Drew. Don't worry. But anyway, we played South Carolina. The game should not have been anywhere near as close as it was. For those who didn't see it, when we played the Payloads S&D, our new teammate Zay fell off the map twice without getting a kill.
Hate to hear it.
So now that's my permaban. Thank God. I hate that map anyway. And
that's what we did to them too.
Best S&D map in the game.
No, bro, not if your teammates literally fallen. Dude, Zay fell off the map one time before I had even gotten to Godheady. Like, that's how quickly he fell off the map. I don't even know how you can fall off the map that fast, but he did. So I was like,
did he fall off like outskirts twice?
I still have no idea how he fell off the second time. The first time he fell outskirts. The second time he literally fell off before I could get to the forklift on that map on the spawn. I'm like, I don't even know. You had to have spawned in and just sprinted to the motherfucking, like, out of bounds and thought you were the last guy alive against 5 players or something. Like, I don't understand how that happens. But anyway, so then we go to the control and get absolutely destroyed. And the last control map, we lose a 16-3, which is that's tough.
Real tough.
And yeah, and then APOC lost full, left the Discord, left the everything, and we didn't have a teammate for a while.
Tough.
Wait, can you walk us through how you lose a 16-3
control? Yeah, so we had the point. We had A, and they had 3 players, and Zay can't shoot, so I'm not sure how he died, but he died. And then APOC, I believe, was playing Saugs still, and so he was complaining about map control, and I think he tried to peek mid with the Saug, and then died to lower bottom orange, and then we got 2-man pushed from their side, and they fried me in jokes, and I think Visual was sitting top mid. And then they held the point because we decided instead of team pushing like we should have, that we were just going to try to stagger in one at a time because we were like at 16-3, we can just throw bodies at this. And yeah, you can't actually throw bodies at players that can shoot back. So
crazy how that works.
I learned that one.
Yep. And then also, if you watch the ending VOD, as APOC is sliding into the point, one of our teammates, I believe it was threw a stun and stunned him, so it stopped him mid-slide right as he's about to contest at the end there. So, yeah, good times. So let him capture the point.
So you're saying it was a series of unfortunate events, basically.
Yeah.
Ended.
The whole game should have been closer. I think they still probably would have beat us, but it definitely should have been a lot closer than it was, because that was not a good time. That sucked. But yeah, that's what happened, and then we didn't have a teammate for a while. Zach literally wasn't responding to anybody. He'd left our Twitter group, left the Discord. Like, we had to invite him back to the Discord when he finally decided to replay. And then we found out on Sunday he was like, yeah, I'll play again. So, thank God.
Did he leave because of the control, or did he leave because of the series?
Well, I think it was like so. Like we had already began like because the hard point was close. The S&D we like literally just kept making really dumb mistakes, and then plus a teammate falling off the map twice. And then so we were already pretty pissed off going into the control at each other. Like comms were already going to shit, and it was pretty much just everybody was pissed at each other, and everybody was blaming each other for stupid mistakes. And then so like when you lose a 16-3 control when you're already losing full, yeah, it was bad. He like you can just hear him yell "fuck" and he slams down his controller. And, nice, Gentry's a fucking idiot. They told me
my cup was empty. I had to prove it wasn't.
Oh my god.
Fuck, dude.
So,
I blame the chat. That one's on the chat. F.
Blame it on Neox.
But yeah,
blame it on the people that didn't spill it.
Neox just fucking set me up.
So that's what happened.
Wait, JPRO, you think we actually take responsibility here? No shot.
I hope so. I mean, I take responsibility.
I'm kidding.
So, and then our other game. Let's see, we played Humber, and our teammate went 1-11 going into a round 3 control.
Which teammate was that?
Zay.
Was that?
Yep.
Was BK or not BK, but Zay? Yeah, sorry, BK
Zay.
is somebody else.
I didn't think Zay was that bad when we played him.
Matt definitely has a differing opinion based on.
I mean, I think he played decent against us. Also, we were just.
I was gonna say no offense, but like
off our
you and Dev were the only ones shooting it back for the first 2 maps.
I wasn't even shooting back.
I mean, whatever happened to Cody anyway, or Riffles or whatever?
We don't know. He still has never responded to us.
He's still MIA.
Yeah, we have no idea where he's from.
Incredible.
Makes me feel better, Matt. We had to make a roster change after our series.
Dude, it seems like every team we beat, I get a message from some other team going, my team's dog shit. Like ECU, one of their teammates immediately messaged me and was like, I'm losing full, I'm gonna quit COD. And then fucking Maroon, same shit. One of their teammates messaged me and was like, they're all blaming me, I'm gonna quit COD. I'm like, dude, what? We're not that good. Why are you guys quitting? It's not that big of a deal.
That's gonna be unfortunate though. Like so like a roster lock is actually happening, and that's gonna happen in March. So like you're gonna be narrowed down to like the 7 players you want to be playing the rest of the season.
Oh, that's fine.
Damn, they're nerfing Humber. That's crazy.
No more ad drops. So
they're like Humber can't add any more God players. That's crazy.
Wait, when is roster lock?
Let me look at the exact date.
Like roster lock for playoffs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's for playoffs. It's to make sure we know who's actually gonna be.
Now my drink's empty.
It is March 17th. That'll be the date. That'll be the last day to submit the form. So the form's probably gonna come out that Monday, which I believe is the 11th. Yeah. So it'll come out the 11th, and then it'll close on the 17th. And then if a team doesn't have it filled out, we'll DM them, try to get it. But basically, you have to have it narrowed down to the 7 players so we can get some special graphics and stuff made for playoffs. Make everything nice, so we don't be like, oh. And this player who, was added on a roster update form like 4 days ago is now playing in this match. We're trying to get everything in order. So
basically trying to make sure Humber can't just pull out random players.
Oh.
Email verification, all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Send
me the transcripts.
Exactly. You should check transcripts for playoffs.
We'll check everybody's transcripts for playoffs.
Do it. I'm not scared. You can see my 1.8. There's no
GPA. Just don't judge my GPA.
Right, there's no GPA requirement.
Guys. I mean,
if you're failing, you're kicked out.
Nope, there's no GPA requirement. Suck it.
There might be next season.
Oh well.
Oh damn it.
Well, there goes
you have to have a 0.5 GPA to stay in. So.
State. Wait.
2-factor identification for rosters.
2FA. Make sure there are no bots. Listen, IDK, bro. I've seen some matches and I really thought a bot was playing, but.
So what happened with the Ole Miss OSU game?
Momentus.
We're jumping right in.
Yeah. That was enough of the. That was enough.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
You talk, Roger.
Well, first of all, Slacky played crazy. That dude went the fuck off. Like, he did really fucking good. He normally does really good though. And then my team, we haven't practiced as a team only once in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So our game's not where it should be, and Ole Miss's game was. I mean, that's basically that's what it comes down to for the most part. We're just playing weird right now. So, I mean, Ole Miss played crazy though. Like they deserve that win, 100%.
What was the map count? Because I had to.
It was 3-1.
Yeah, we won.
The Arsenal S&D map 2.
Gotcha.
Which I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Momentus, y'all should not have won that map. I'm just saying.
The search.
Yeah, the search. Y'all did not deserve to win that. Ole Miss choked the S&D in my opinion.
What'd they do?
I think there was I think they had a specialist left in round 11 that they never used, and I also think that I think they preemptively used a war machine in a round, and it got them nothing.
Yeah, they just spammed it over the jet.
Yeah, they spammed it over jet, and they didn't get anything from it.
Yeah, there was another round where
Don't forget the lightning strike.
Yeah, there was
another round where Poner was in a 1v1 against Momentus, and he knew he was near a bomb, and he doesn't pre-aim vents against Momentus.
Oh yeah,
shot in the ass from vents.
Well, if you think about it though, the chance of me coming Vince that quick though, I mean, I get it, you'd pre-aim Vince on me, but me making that play was weird. Nobody would think that.
Right, but he wasn't even going back and forth. He was.
Yeah, no, he was just focused front. He was just focused front. I think he thought I was gonna challenge him.
Yeah, I think the war machine you're talking about is our war machine against.
Oh, it probably was. Yeah.
I know
war machine against. Because when we played last night when we played against FSU, we visuals popped war machine and then just spammed it over jets and didn't get anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I do remember there was some sort of specialist misplay that I had talked about with Shift after. Realistically, Ole Miss should have 3-0'd OSU. If they don't throw away some rounds in the S&D, 3-0. But they do. But even then, the control was devastating in my opinion. I know that y'all have scrimmed a lot as a team in recent weeks, but Ole Miss played the control way better than any other team I've seen play Seaside control in the league.
They haven't lost the control yet, I don't think. Ole Miss
they're nutty. And
that's not good for us.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate
wait. There's one more facet to that. So Wes normally does our picks and normally does really good, but Seaside Control is Ole Miss's best map, and I think we might have picked that. And then he also picked Arsenal. No, he picked Hacienda Hardpoint. I think. I could be wrong. It's either Hacienda or Arsenal Hardpoint, but we suck at both of those maps right now. We're awful at both those maps right now. And I'm pretty sure it's Ole Miss's better maps.
If you picked the control, that means you picked map 1, which was Hacienda Hardpoint.
Yeah, we suck at that map. We don't know how to play it.
See, I was super confused. I even messaged Serge about this. I was like, so you're gonna play them on Arsenal? I believe Arsenal was the map 4 also. Was Arsenal? Yeah, it was Arsenal Hardpoint.
Right, yeah.
Why would you, I thought Arsenal was one of your stronger maps, to be honest.
Ole Miss said they picked 135, so they had
Arsenal's an Ohio State strong map for sure.
Yeah, because in my opinion, Adams still a top 3 AR in the league, and I didn't know if Mensa and Armstrong were gonna show up that night and be able to shoot straight. Not saying they can't shoot straight, but I would say Adams pretty good. And
you mean what Gentry said on his little stream when he said they're only gonna win if their Saugs go off?
Good talk.
Oh shit! I was saying exactly what Gentry said when he said it only Ole Miss only wins if their Saugs go off.
He says that about every team.
He
definitely
said it about.
Hold on.
If your Saugs are playing well, you're gonna win.
Absolutely. Shift says that quite a lot actually. When during casting, we talk about specifically that thing. He's a firm believer if your Saugs play well, you'll win. If they aren't playing well, you're gonna lose 100%.
If you want to win a frequency control, don't use Saugs. You play 3 ICRs and 2 Maddoxes.
You guys literally just pre-aimed angles.
That's how you 3-0 a frequency control, just in case anybody's concerned. You guys need to know the meta. I'm feeding it to you.
Use that next week.
It's brilliant. It's the best meta, bro.
I still don't understand why Ole Miss picked 3 really good AR maps against OSU, but I guess it worked out for them.
Armstrong went off too. I forgot.
People underestimate the shit out of Armstrong.
So Armstrong in the beginning of the season definitely okay. So when he's set up, he can do what he can melt down people. But if he's not set up, he normally gets fried. Well, it wasn't the case when we played them. He actually went off, and him and Slacky. I wouldn't say they carried that team, but they made sure they won. Slacky and Armstrong made sure that Ole Miss won.
No, Ole Miss made a role change. Did you guys know about that or no?
Oh, what was the role
Mensa
change?
switched to an ICR.
Yeah, and Poner told me they swapped Mensa to an ICR, and they're letting Armstrong run a Maddox now. So like, you might see a little
okay.
better playing out of Armstrong for sure. That's what he said. He said they play around it a lot better. So
APOC runs our ICR now.
Yeah, that's wild, considering he was a PPSH in World War II.
He plays their ICR on their AM team too.
Does he like that? Why is he playing that role?
So he consistently complains about map control. And so we told him that if he's that concerned with it, then he needs to, like, he keeps complaining how we never have map control and he blames it on, like, everybody else. So he said, okay, well then you play ICR and you, like, run map control. And so that's what he does now.
Alright. Matt, you mind if I ask you a question
You can
about
ask me anything you want.
Sorry,
Also, I really
Eagle
apologize for the
Esports.
super loud fucking bass behind me because some asshole below me is playing music. But sure, you can ask me whatever you want.
So your team doesn't scrim at all,
No,
correct?
nope.
Is there any plans to change that or no?
Zay really wants to scrim.
well, Zay needs to scrim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out.
Get that kid in some pins.
Like, yeah. I guess my question is, why don't y'all? Are they more concerned
So
with their M team?
they play in a
or-
league that actually has a prize pool. The three of them do.
Yeah.
It's called Venom League or something like that.
Yeah, I've
And
seen
so
it.
like the three of them play in that every night at 9 p.m. And so like if we were to scrim, it has to be before that. But I get out of classes every day at 8, so like there's just no time for us to scrim. And like
Bro,
we could do it. We
we-
could scrim on weekends, but usually like I'm out on weekend nights, and then they're like playing, like they're just playing with each other or whatever they're doing. So
Which three are the ones on the team together?
APOC, jokes, and visuals.
Gotcha.
Weren't you originally on that team?
Yeah. They still have the other.
Jumped.
Well, no, I left.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I left after
Trolling
the
you.
I left after the land because at the
Oh,
time
yeah.
Jokes had like literally the biggest ego on the fucking planet, and I couldn't handle it, so I left. I was like, I'm not dealing with that shit. It's gotten a lot better though. His ego is not near as bad as it was, so it's not bad. Our comms are actually a lot better this year than they were last year. Like last year, our comms were just super toxic, but we were like it was okay because we were winning games. If we were losing games last year, like it would have been awful. We probably would have broken up as a team like way before that.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like another certain. Never mind. I'm not gonna make that comparison. I don't want egos to go to anybody's head that moment. But yeah.
But wait, how mad Jokes when I 4-piece and shot his body? Probably not mad. Honestly, like the entire time we played last night, we were mostly just like having fun. Like we went into the game going, okay, like this is like one of the best teams in the league. We know we're probably gonna get shit on. Let's just have fun with it. And so like when we so like the whole ICR thing in the control, like that literally came because I said on the very first round of control to chalk A, and APOC slides in with an ICR and gets 2. And so, like, immediately I bust out laughing, saying ICR's new meta, and he goes, it is, everybody use it. So then we all are like, all right, fuck it, and we all pull it out. And so, like, that's why, like, that's where that came from. It's
Yeah.
just us fucking around.
Especially on frequency, though, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. The map is literally 3 lanes, and you can literally pre-aim every angle they're going to come from. And with a gun that doesn't move, it's, like, probably not even that hard. Like,
It's probably
The
insane
thing
on
is, it's
defense.
so hard. It's so hard to get that initial wipe if you already have 3 ICRs
Yeah.
out. But if you get that wipe and you can set up, then
If you
it's
can push
just-
up to like their heady on their elbow and their spawn,
The,
you can
Yeah.
really just
the
lock
biggest
that
problem
down.
with it is up close gunfights. Like, you have to hit every single shot or you will lose the gunfight. And against, and
Yeah.
like, especially, yeah, like, it's not so bad. I think, like, that meta, like, wouldn't even work today because that patch that rebuffed the Saug. But, like, yesterday, like, the Saug, like, you literally had no movement speed with it. Like, we didn't play with one of them on frequency. So, it was like, I don't
We were
know, it
running
worked out
3.
for us. Yeah, we're running 3 ICRs and 2 Maddoxes. It was wild.
We ran 3 Saugs against you all on frequency. And we saw how that went.
Yeah, that's true. But now the Saug's rebuffed, so maybe it'll actually work out again.
I didn't
Did the-
notice a huge difference when I was using it in 10s a little bit ago. I think it feels a little bit better, but it doesn't feel like it still feels just weak
Yeah.
against Maddoxes and ICRs in general.
I haven't
Matt,
used
what
it.
was
Or I'm just ass.
what was Visual's reaction to getting turned on when that guy jumped up top mid?
See,
I
like the
gotta
thing with
know.
visual, like if you've ever played with him, that dude has like 100% composure. I have never seen Visual lose full, and so like literally he got shit on, and he literally just went, "Oh fuck," and like that's it, and then he's just ready to play the next round. Like that's the one thing I like. The one thing about DJ is like he literally has the best composure. Anything can happen, and he will be able to regain immediately. He's able to play. Like
Must be nice.
He's the only player on our team that can do that. But like he literally is like the most composed player I've ever played with on a team.
Yo, Christian, I'm down to talk about that if you want to. It's not really complicated. He said that we played a match right before this against East Carolina, and he said we should talk about throwing the stock 2 GA out the window. So first map on frequency hardpoint, they used stock 2, but I think it was because one of them just forgot to take it off for whatever reason.
Why would
I
you
didn't
even
really
have it
care,
on?
but
Okay.
I know. I was a little bit annoyed, but I didn't really mind it, and my teammates were pretty annoyed because they're Saugs. They're gonna be more annoyed when they get stock 2'd. And so we didn't pull it out till map 4 because they used it again on map 3. So like at first it was an accident, but then I didn't say anything to their captain about it, and then
Yeah.
they used it again. We thought it wasn't an accident, and so 2 of my teammates pulled out stock 2 on map 4, and that was pretty much it. We won map 4. Nobody really like talked shit.
Wait, Poner, did he actually say that?
Just
Say
went back
GA
and
is
forth.
their only recommendation. We don't have to abide by them. Like obviously
that's
like
true.
technically
That's
true,
true.
but like it still
Wait,
makes you a
where
piece
did they
of shit.
say that?
I don't know. Poner just said that in chat.
That is not the reason
said
they
it, that's
gave
fucked
me.
up.
Did they buff stock 2 back to what it was before the patch, or they leave it as it is?
I don't know.
It's pre-patch.
Is the stock
Pre-patch,
2
okay.
pre-patch or just like the Saugs?
I know that-
It said the stock attachment was to the pre 1.13 patch, which was
Okay,
the weapon tuning.
so it's
Okay.
got to be gone.
Yeah, so we got a GA then, obviously. Like what the fuck?
I had hope for like a week.
Honestly, bro, I saw I can't remember who it was. It might have been Millsy that tweeted this out, but like it was like, imagine if the COD scene was the CS scene. Like GA the op, it's overpowered. GA the AK, it's overpowered. Like
They're all using the AUG now.
Dude,
in
I can't believe
CS.
we all use
I know,
AUG.
I
It
know, I
makes me
know.
so
GA the AUG. The AUG meta is actually kind of weird to watch.
I hate it.
It's
I
so
hate
I
it.
haven't watched
I hate
CS in so long. I just watched the major this weekend.
No.
I'm like, why are they all using this
Yeah.
gun?
They need to
Also,
they need to buff up the
I
price of it.
got MIBR beating Astralis tomorrow 2-1.
I have not watched Pro CS in way too long.
MIBR looks good, but I think Astralis.
Alright, let's talk
Oh.
about GAs.
Yeah, I'm down.
What's
Yo,
everybody's
never-
thoughts on
alright.
GAs?
I got a question.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a divisional question. Are GCU underrated? That's why I want to leave. They only have one loss, so that's why I want to throw this around. Is GCU
Who they
underrated?
played?
Are they in the top 10? Where are they
They
ranked?
just beat South Carolina. I mean, sure
They
might
beat
have
South
an
Carolina.
easy-
What was the map count?
They had host against South Carolina.
They
One
had
host.
The
host.
maps they hosted lost. The 2 maps they didn't host.
So they're,
The
so they're probably
3-2.
close teams.
Yeah.
They're probably close. Then like I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard them like say they're like like really good. I haven't heard anybody be like they're insane or anything.
I
though.
didn't think they were awful.
Yeah,
Here's who GCU's
I
played.
put them around the same.
No,
Oh,
they're
okay.
not
Fuck
bad.
you,
I
Jacob.
would still say
Yeah, I
South
think they're
Carolina's
bad.
better than them though.
Wait, did GCU played Ole Miss? Or they're supposed to play Ole Miss this week. I wonder if they have yet.
Wait, South Carolina would beat GCU 100%.
Yeah, probably.
They haven't played Ole Miss yet.
Who did GCU lose to? That's to GCC in like first week, game 5, right?
Yeah. They beat
That
Old
was-
Humber, so that's not the Humber with Go Tunes and Kush Point.
Yeah,
I
not
got,
the new one.
I got you. You'd be surprised with Humbers in my top 10.
I mean, I got
Humber's in
Humber
my top 10 as
Humber's a really
well,
good
yeah.
team.
They have to be now.
Dude, that team was really
Yeah,
good.
They look too
Dude,
good.
Kush Point
they're in
is
my top 5.
incredible. Kush Point's a great player. So is Go Tunes.
Yeah, like
gotcha,
they're
Neox.
really good.
But yeah,
The top 10 this week should be interesting after having last
But I
week.
wouldn't say they're like I wouldn't say they're overrated or underrated. Like I think they're a decent team.
wait, who do y'all think are the top 3 teams in the league right now? Then after the recent shit.
Ooh,
Emerald,
that would be
Toronto,
good stuff.
and probably still Ohio State.
I mean, FSU's definitely top team right now, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, you mean not
Emerald-
FSU?
Not
well,
FSU.
Whatever. FSU.
Yeah.
It's got. I think you have to say Emerald
Whatever.
or Toronto or Toronto.
Personally, I think like the top 4, so Toronto, FSU, Ole Miss, and OSU could take maps off of
Yeah.
each other whenever.
That's what I
like,
think,
Based
yeah.
off,
It's very
based off,
close.
based off scrims that we played, based off the matches that have been played so far. I don't want to 100% know just because has FSU played a top 5 team yet?
They have 6.
They beat
wins over
LU
top
Red.
LU
Yeah,
Red.
yeah.
All right, they beat LU Red. So I mean, I think those 4 teams could take a map off. I mean, could like go head to head with anybody. LU Red's kind of on that border. I don't think Onyx is where. I don't think what is it GCC. I don't think they're
Yeah,
where
GCC.
everybody thinks they are. I think Navy might be better than Onyx.
Well, I
be
think
honest with
I
you.
think the hype
But I
around
def-
Onyx. I think the hype around Onyx came from like when they came onto the like college scene like towards the end of like season 0, they were frying everybody they scrimmed, and I think it's like everybody expected them to do really good because they were literally destroying every team they scrimmed, and then
True.
like as newer teams came in and players got teams got better players, they've kind of fallen down.
And those first 2Ks, GCC did well each time too.
Yeah.
It's so hard to.
But rosters have changed so much since then
But
too.
personally, that top 4, that Toronto, FSU, Ohio State, and Ole Miss, I think any day that they're all competitive with each other. But after that, I don't think the teams are as competitive.
Those 4 teams on land would be a fun as fuck to watch.
I think most of them are going to.
OSU.
You don't think so,
Gentry's
Gentry?
shaking his head.
You
Gentry's
don't think
shaking
so?
his head.
Not all
I'm
of
gonna
it.
disagree here.
What's up? What do you think?
Look, I'm not one to gas Emerald, but they're consistently better than most teams on host. And internet's the big problem in the CCL. But what I'm going to say is Emerald scrims off host every single time. And every time a team comes to Emerald's host, they lose 90% of their gunfights. I don't know what the cause is. It's probably the fact it's Florida host. But no one's even gotten close to winning over half their gunfights against them. And until that changes, I don't know how you beat them unless you take every map on your host. And because they're good at S&D, like they take enough maps to take a series every time, even if they have host or not.
You know damn well what the reason is, and that's called Zolti's host.
Well, he's the best host you're gonna get. That's the sad part. You can swap host, but it's only gonna get worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth, which means I don't know how any of you plan to beat them. I mean, you can
No, I
neutral
think-
host, but they're okay with that too.
I think FSU is definitely the top team, and it's not. I mean, you could debate Toronto, but until they play,
I would like to see that head
Shut
up.
the
They,
fuck
they don't. They
Roast
don't
FSU.
play.
You would
Well,
have
right,
to get
that's
a
what I'm
neutral
saying,
for
like,
that game. I think till they get fair,
they'll
you
probably
have to
meet
get a
up
neutral.
somewhere in playoffs. I
If
would
you're
think.
gonna beat FSU, the only thing you can nag on them for is they have a small map pool, and they have 2 maps in every mode they're very good at, and you can always ban 1, but they still have 1 to play around. If they don't expand their map pool and you play good vetoes and you get the right hosts on those maps, you can beat them. But as far as I'm concerned, like, you got to play the right maps against them, or you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're not going to win the series.
Well, you're definitely gonna take the control off them, based off of what we saw.
If you ban Seaside, which
Oh well, yeah, that's my permanent ban. I would never
We
play
didn't.
Seaside control.
if you
did.
play them on Seaside, you're absolutely. I think they're the best Seaside control team in the game. by a
Yeah,
lot.
I would never.
So,
play
if you
Ole
play them
Miss
on
is the
that-
best seaside control
But
team
that's what
in the
makes
game.
them dangerous. If they get good at other controls, like, now how do you beat them? That's my
Yeah,
they have
We-
6,
they're a
7
really good team for sure.
to learn control in other maps.
We played you guys close 1 map, and then the other 2 we got smoked.
Why do you think we won our scum win? That's what we knew we can't actually win. That's why we gotta try to take our scum win. For that.
I mean, if FSU expands their map pool, I don't see them losing. To be honest with you, they're just not good at. There's certain maps they're not good at.
honestly though, like as
What maps
like
is that be? What maps is that?
Arsenal's one of them. Arsenal's one of them.
Arsenal's one, but like the thing is, they used to be bad at Hacienda, right? Hacienda.
We
Was
beat them on Hacienda.
and now they're playing Hacienda because they've practiced Hacienda a lot. If they get 1 or 2 more good control maps in, and they can just keep banning that one, I don't know how people beat them. Like, to be honest with you, you just got to be able to take a map that they're really good at if you're going to beat them. You got to either watch an S&D VOD, be able to take them on one of their hard points, one of their controls, because they're really good at 2 maps in every mode outside of control, and you got to be able to do more than take the control against them. That's my 2 cents.
we really should have going back to the match last night. Like we should have closed out that search and destroy. Like there was quite a few times where we should have closed it out and we couldn't. Like the 1v2 with APOC where you guys use vision pulse and Zach picks up 1 and then doesn't use his crash. If he uses his crash there, we win that fight 100 times out of 100. Like there's literally no way he loses
True.
that with I don't remember who was left on FSU, but they had 10 HP. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't understand how he didn't use his crash there. But I mean, I guess he was trying to save it. I get it, but it would have won us that. It would have run us that round, put us at 5-2.
Yeah, like I was sitting there thinking, like, why is he not popping crash? You know, because like how much time do they have left to defuse? Like I don't think it was that much.
It was like 16 seconds when he died. So
Yeah, so-
like if he either could have played for his life there, or like after you got that first pick, you use crash, and then you can take that second fight, and you have a
Yeah.
lot better chance of winning. But it is what it is. But like that's why like when my team was really like pushing for us to get that shit win on the hard point, I'm like, bro, it shouldn't even be this close. Like it should be going to a map 5 regardless, because we should have won that S&D. Like the fact that we screwed ourselves on the S&D fucks us here anyway. So But I want to see FSU play Toronto, but I feel like that game's only going to be good on a neutral.
No, yeah, it's gonna be a host war.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be good on neutral, but outside of that,
See.
Honestly, I think Toronto would take that just because like their connection is insane. Like you play them on a sub map, you're fucked. Like you're sorry.
if there's host, yeah, but if there's a neutral, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think FSU smokes them. Look, a lot of guys back me up. When I make my rankings, it's off strictly VODs. I don't think Toronto's necessarily. They're in the top teams. Don't get me wrong. I want to make this very clear in the first part. They're in the top teams that, like you said, can take maps on any day. But I think Toronto is no different than an Ole Miss, an LU Red, and Ohio State, where they've had an easy schedule. They haven't played anyone good. And to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if when they play Ohio State, they get shell-shocked because it's a higher caliber, faster pace, better trade scenario than anything they've played so far. And until you play a team of that caliber that can actually compete, it's hard to get a good judgment on them, right? You can only watch their VODs against a team.
I've played against Toronto for a long time. Yeah, I disagree with that too. Like, it doesn't matter who they played. Like, I've played against them a lot. A lot of other teams have scrimmed against them a lot. Like, for like the past however many months, 3 months or so. Toronto took like a lot of maps off us in scrims and stuff. Not like scrims are like the biggest thing. Like, but I mean Toronto on sub maps, like especially online, like there's not much touching them on sub maps. Like frequency and seed side, like it's really hard to kill them.
Well, I don't.
No matter who's
They're
host.
a very good team. I'm not taking them out of.
And I don't think FSU subs can run with Toronto subs. Personally,
They can.
Oh,
They can.
no.
That would be a great matchup because both their strong
No
suits.
doubt about it.
It'd be a
think-
great
I'm
matchup
not-
because both their strong suits are their
So
subs.
what I'm hearing is this needs to be a fight night.
No, because it would. I don't think it'd be close on a neutral host. Joppo and Sammy are better than the Saugs that they have in Toronto.
I don't think that's true.
Disagree.
I disagree with that. You
I'm
have
gonna be
you have,
neutral.
you have Tweak on Gotternet, bro. Like you're not touching him.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will give Toronto the internet factor by a lot because Canadians are insane. That is nothing but facts. But I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I've seen from Joppo and Sammy, they've proven themselves against other competition. With Toronto, I know they might have played well against you guys, but you're close to them. They haven't played a bad off host. They haven't played a far neutral. I'm just saying, if Stainless hosted up tomorrow, I'm taking Emerald in it by a good amount because I haven't seen someone doosling against them on anything but their own host. And it has to be a far host, too. If it's not, I mean, outside of like playing Ohio State or GCC on their host that is very far, I haven't seen Emerald struggle. And to top it off, they suck at scrims. They come to league matches and they fry. I mean, I thought LU Navy was going to beat them. I was very, very wrong.
I think you're gassing FSU subs a little bit.
No,
bit.
they have two of the top three. Name two better than Sammy and Joppa.
I mean, I think
Like
I
a
think
duo or just players?
personally, I think Tweak's a better sub than both of them.
I agree. I mean, Joppo is great. Sammy's great. I think Tweak's a little bit better than both of them.
Slacky's better too. I forgot about Slacky. When Slacky's on, he's better than both of them.
Yeah, when Slacky's on.
Just
For
based
sure.
off what I've seen and playing against them and Sammy and Joppo in tens, like just based off that, and then what I've seen from like matches and stuff, I think personally Slacky and Tweak are both better subs than both of them.
I'd put Slacky on the
I'd
same
like to
level
see
as Joppo.
If it's really this divided, I'd love to see it on a fight night. I don't think you're going to get the expectation that you expect.
Get an
to be
all
honest.
sub player fight night.
JPRO, we want it on a fight night. Set it up.
10 Saugs.
I'm guys. Just
All
send me
Saugs,
send me
only
the
Saugs.
just send me the a 5 Saug versus 5 Saug on the map.
Just pick
That'd
the top 10
be
songs in the
crazy.
league and make it a fight night.
Ooh.
I'm down.
That would actually kind of an interesting concept, you know.
Yeah,
Top
we can
10
have
size,
top 10
10
songs, top 10 Maddox, and top 10 ICRs.
I'm in there for the
That'd be so
songs.
gross. That'd be so
I'm an
gross.
elite
The
song.
ICRs, bro.
Wait,
That'd be
wait,
so
JPRO,
gross.
JPRO.
Yeah.
Speaking of fight night, I want your thing right now. If Emerald went up against a team of me, Bobe, Poner, Slacky, and Justification, which is what we submitted for the fight night, that intriguing or no?
Absolutely.
I mean, 3-0 us?
I'm gonna remain neutral in this situation.
I don't know if
answer.
it's 3-0. I think it'll be a good
Yeah.
match. I think
Think it'll be a good match?
Who's
Yeah,
host?
I don't
bro.
know. Yeah, I think for me it really depends on host because like if Emerald gets to host, they're gonna destroy you because they're all
Gentry's
relatively
team
close.
is
Wait,
Gentry's
wait,
team
y'all
is
are
winning that
super spread out.
3-0.
But how
Gentry's
far-
team's winning that 3-0 no matter what.
3-0?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't think it'll be a 3-0.
I don't think it'll be a 3-0. I think you guys are gonna win for sure, but I don't think it'll be a 3-0.
I don't know. That's like one thing I want to talk about after this though. Host.
You guys are heavily underestimating Bo.
I can talk about host.
I know we can all talk about it.
Let's get into LU Red and talk about Toddy and Bo and how they've been playing, and like I think they're coming back into form. I'm gonna speak the first one.
Well, they lost to South Carolina.
They had some. All right, they went into a down for sure. They went into a down.
They didn't actually lose South Carolina. They forfeited the match.
Oh yeah, they lost.
Carolina.
They lose to Butler 3-2, and they lost to South Carolina was the forfeit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they actually beat South Carolina, but they forfeited for cheating, like forcing a neutral.
Yeah, that's tough getting caught. Not cheating, but it's
No,
tough.
no. But let's be clear here. Curb went
cheating,
into trash talk and said we finessed them 100%. Like, if you're gonna be stupid, then don't be that stupid.
Sometimes you got to turn yourself in.
I mean, let me clarify in one sentence. They didn't get the forfeit for the geo filter. That wasn't the forfeit. The forfeit was for lying to us about why they couldn't connect. Because like they said they couldn't connect because like, or like Toddy just said he couldn't connect because like Dan was playing or something, and that made him strict, so he couldn't play. Or like, all right, whatever, you know, well, if like they can't connect to anything, then try a neutral. They tried the neutral, and that's what ended up working. But then like, oh, actually, this geofilter thing happened, and that was a decision. Like, if you misinform staff about like something in that situation, like that has like potentially like massive consequences.
Fnatic said that's a 60-day ban on.
They used a geofilter? I didn't know this.
Fnatic said that's a 60-day ban on GB. Where's the ban?
Relax.
Did not know they used that. That's rough.
Yeah.
No, South Carolina's host isn't fun to play on, but it's not.
Well,
it's not.
one of them
it's
was.
not. It's not unplayable. Like, we played on it, and like, I mean, we lost the match, but I mean, we did okay on it. Like,
yo, I'm gonna be real with you, Momentus. I think this patch that we just had nerfed the shit out of your team.
What? You cut out.
What?
Oh, my bad. I said I think this patch just nerfed the shit out of your team. Because you guys have two players that play really well for streaks, and now you're down the like bigger streaks.
Well, I saw the strike.
No, well now they're anyway, but
I saw the strike team got taken out. I was like, someone said, I don't know who I was playing with, but they just said they nerfed me. I was like, I started laughing.
Yeah, because they like now you have to pretty much run gunship, right? Well, technically attack chopper is still
I'd rather play without streaks, to be honest with you. I'd rather play without streaks in the game, so people aren't playing for streaks.
I think a lightning hellstorm is fine. Like everything else is kind of nuts.
But the fact that they've already taken out everything, I think we should just X lightning and hellstorm and just play all guns. I don't think there should be kill streaks.
I've been saying that since the game came out. So.
I'm gonna be honest with you. In a game of specialists, like taking streaks out would just be so much better because then like the only streak would be like your specialist per se.
If they took
streaks out, it'd be so much easier to go for it.
If they took streaks out and made specialists 100% point based,
score,
it would score. It would be so much. Like I feel like that would be perfect.
I honestly think, and if it doesn't happen, I think there could be a possibility that they just GA lightning and hellstorm just because like it's only two that like besides for gunship, it's only two that people are using. But like we've played games in the past, like previous competitive CODs where there were no kill streaks, so I don't see why we.
Was the last one Advanced Warfare?
Wait, hold on. How is Momentus gonna talk about banning kill streaks when he uses Cosmic Device to get them with 7 kills in a row?
I don't use ComSec.
Wait, that's what my team said.
No, I've never used ComSec. I use ComSec in league play.
That's different though.
That was like beginning of the league.
Yeah, like before the league even started, I was using ComSec. Just because my friend told me about it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" But then we started playing 2Ks, and I never used it again.
Wait, there's a good reason why they can't GA Lightning Hellstorm because there's a rule in the CWL handbook that says that the players can't make their own rule sets, but like up to this point, there's no way to prove that they have their own rule set just because they're using different stuff. But if they don't use streaks at all, it's pretty obvious they're using their own rule set.
I think they kind of have to keep streaks in because it's for the people who tune in to watch. It's like, why are they not using kill streaks in this
guys? I've got a simple idea. What if? Now hear me out. What if we let the pro players make the rule set and we didn't let the developer do it? What if we did that, guys? That's incredible, right? It never been heard of before.
It'd be game changing.
We let the people who play the game for a living make the rules instead of the developers who are probably like 30 to 40,
Well,
20 to 40.
Here's the problem,
Don't
like-
play COD, professionally.
Like, I felt like this update we had today was amazing, right? Like, I feel like
It's a
everything
good
about it was
update. It's
really
a good
great.
update, yeah.
But people on Reddit and on Twitter were flipping the fuck out. And so, like, I think that's the biggest problem is there's such a divide from our competitive scene and and like the casual scene. Because you've got pub stars who are super upset about, like, no, we can't use drone squad and all this shit in league play.
Oh.
Whereas, like, pros are like, what the fuck? That we haven't been using that this whole time. But, like,
Here's
when you go, like, I went
It's
through
people who aren't in tune with everything.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
going
Like,
on
I've been
in the
through.
scene.
I went through Scump's replies when he quoted it, and like everybody was pissed as fuck. And I'm like, what? Like, why are you guys upset? This is a great fucking like patch. It's like one of the best patches I've seen.
Yeah, people just don't like change, to be honest. And like, this is something that I think is going to be like really important, especially with like the next COD. I'm going to say it's MW4 because that's what I realistically think it will be. But
He basically said it.
yeah, I mean, it's like
No, like,
almost
did you
confirmed.
listen to the call? Like the guy was like
Yeah.
literally said the new Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's basically Basically, they need to take the CS:GO route where it's competitive first, casual second. Because if you build the competitive focus first, the casual players will eventually filter in. That's what we've seen with Counter-Strike for 6 years at this point. Like making and especially like if they want to continue the microtransaction stuff, fine, they're gonna do it regardless. Like Counter-Strike has like a pretty successful microtransaction system with the cases and skins, like whatever, as long as
It
it's
used to be
cosmetic
huge.
only. And there's the skin gambling site, so that's another topic for another time. But like, if they are truly serious about making like the Call of Duty franchise league like so good and so important, they have to focus on competitive and just like casual players like need to be like in the back of their mind, but it shouldn't be the forefront of their focus. It should be focused on the competitive scene, because if the game is bad, especially with the terrible shelf life that Call of Duty has with 1 year, if the game is bad and like has a lot of bugs like in the game and it's not like competitively focused, we're gonna have a terrible franchise system.
But that's
Like,
what I was saying.
don't-
Like, I think they have to. I think like going into this next game, because like we all know we're going franchise and stuff like that. I think they have to in some way start thinking in that direction, and I hope that they will. Like, if you're putting
I
that
hope so
much
too.
money into your competitive scene that you're trying to
Agreed.
make it franchised, you have to put it at the front.
They may also want to consider the route of making a competitive game like separate from the main game, where it just stays consistent every year, where it doesn't change.
That-
Is it-
Wait, you mean put in more effort? No shot.
I mean,
Well,
probably.
I mean,
Not with more money.
I think that's like one of the cool
Would they
things
make more
about-
money though?
If they sold,
Fuck no.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck no.
I think that's one of the cool things about COD though, is how it's like always changing, but it's also one of the downsides of COD because it's always changing and you have to like adapt to like a new game every year. Like honestly, I'd be okay if we went to like a 2-year life cycle, or like maybe like a year and a half or something. Like I don't really care. Like but like the 1-year life cycle just seems too short. Like for example, with
still
League
short
play,
for good games and too long for bad games.
Absolutely. Like with League play coming out like a week and a half ago, I think it was. Like Modern Warfare 4 is coming out in like 5 months, 6 months. So
The reveal will be in a month. They reveal in like
Ghost
April.
too?
maybe more like 7 months. But
The thing
mean
is,
Ghost
the
too?
thing is, it's the title that sells. So like the game's gonna sell regardless.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. The people who buy COD for the most part don't wait for reviews. They just buy it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
true,
it's
true.
not like every year. It's not hurting the developer just putting out a shit game. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
nothing hurts them.
And when they know it's shit, they just like bundle a remaster with it, and it sells even more.
Or just keep putting
NIW.
cosmetics in it.
Yeah. Like
Bro.
Call of Duty definitely has like the right ideas. I say right ideas with like a caveat of like they know what needs to be done. It's just maybe more so afraid of taking risks because of the standard Call of Duty model that's been existing since like Black Ops 3. Yeah. I don't know. All I'm hoping for is that MW4 is the game that they say it's going to be, that the franchise league is successful because of it. Because realistically, like the franchise league is like the next step to making like COD like an official tier 1 esport. And if the franchise league fails,
We're fucked.
Call of Duty's back to the the COD 2 era.
That's another thing is after the like, unless it succeeds in the first year, teams aren't gonna want to reinvest. Like I mean, right now the league matches get like 30,000 viewers.
unless it's optics.
Scump was pulling in more than that last month, like by himself. He's pulling in double and triple that, like by himself.
Yeah.
Like if there's even like a couple mil buy-in for these league teams, like they're not gonna want to do it. Like it's gonna be way too expensive and not a good enough payout.
Well, the thing is like we have one of the smallest prize pools. Like when you look at like Fortnite just put out like I don't even remember how much money it was.
100 million.
Yeah, like
30 million for one tournament.
Yeah, 30 mil for the World Cup. It's like how are you supposed to as like a professional? Because if in my opinion, if you're a professional in esport, you're gonna be extremely decent in pretty much any other esport. Like because you already like you're gonna be good at video games. I think anybody who plays at our level of this game is gonna be relatively at this level in almost any game they play. Like I think that's just part of. I mean, with a little practice, obviously. So like when you like get to that point, I think you have to start thinking like, do I switch to Fortnite where you can get $30 million for a game instead of playing for nothing basically? I mean, obviously there's money here, but it's not near the amount that other esports are getting. That's
what Scum said he was going to do last year in World War II. He's like, there's so much money in Fortnite. Why don't I switch?
Well, and the thing is too, like, I don't see with all these microtransactions that happen. I don't know why there's not crowdfunding. Like they could literally put out like
they could put skin.
They could put out a champ skin pack with like skins from every team and put that towards the prize pool, and there you go. That's a couple $1 million prize pool, I swear.
They dropped the skin pack in Black Ops 3 before chance, but they didn't put it to the prize pool. They just took all the money from it.
Exactly. Yeah, because Activision only cares about their earnings call. I don't think until this year that they actually officially care about
I think they put out the prize pool too before the year started for all the events too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they announced all the prize pools before.
Because that's what I believe it was CS:GO that sells skins for each team, and like part of that money goes. I believe it's to the team or it's to. It's either to the team or to the prize
pool. The stickers go toward like the players, I think.
Yeah, the stickers go to the players.
All right, let's get back to college COD.
So I got a DM. I got a DM that Emerald wants to talk about.
All right, hit.
So I got a DM that said, "Why were Poner and other team captains trying to scumbag Emerald and go to a game 5 over the lag out?"
Wait, what?
Wait,
it was
what?
really just one.
I wasn't even watching.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. Okay, so like a lot of you guys aren't in team chat. So basically, after the whole DC situation happened, we thought you guys were just gonna end it right away. It didn't happen, so we played it out. Obviously, we like barely won it, like unbelievably close. And then, so at the end of it, our team was like, well, they played it out, so we should just play, like, that should be the end. And then obviously FSU is like, no, we need a replay. And then we were going back and forth for a little bit in team chat, and then one of the other teams, I think it was Poner, stepped in and basically said, I don't remember his exact words, but basically said, like, he thought that it should go to a game 5, but he didn't say it in those words. I think he like just said we should follow MLG rules, something like that. And then JPRO was like, nope, sorry, we're doing a full replay, and that's what happened. But Poner did say later, he said, like, he came in later and was like, yo, I shouldn't have commented on it. He did come in today and say that, so.
Can someone walk me through what happened? I wasn't there either.
So Exulti cut out when they were up by 80, and they still almost won, and we only won because I threw a stun and got a 3-piece to break kill. It was pretty embarrassing. Yeah. Not gonna lie. You were host? Yeah. Were we host?
I think Wes said
it was Matt 4. You guys were hosts.
I think Wes said the rule for that on LAN is basically just a replay no matter what, unless it's a complete blowout. But then the other problem is like for tournaments and stuff like online, the rule is like if you DC and it's not in the first within the first kill or whatever, then you just play it out, and that's how, and they have to try and join back. And the fact that didn't Zolti lag out twice yesterday too?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, I don't know. Like, I mean, they were up, so like, why would you intend? Like, I don't know. You can't. You
yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's really hard to make that call. Like.
Yeah. Like.
But like, since they were up and he lagged out, like I understand the replay in that situation. Like, I think it all has to come down. You can't just make a strict ruling on that. I think it has to be like it comes down to each situation.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know. I think it's a case by case basis on that.
Yeah. Like, so here's my like opinion on this whole situation. Like, with the way this game is structured around specialists over time and the basically it's actually just that factor and like how much impact specialists can have on the game. Like, in my opinion, if like somebody lags out, like a replay should happen regardless of game mode or game type. Like, but like I can also see the reason you wouldn't want to do that in something like S&D. So if like some teams like losing like I don't know like 5-2 or something, and it's like a 4v2 and a player lags out, like they could try to abuse that and say we should get a replay, but. I don't know. I just think like with the way specialists are, how you get them over time, and like if a player lags out, that's like one specialist that might impact the game, or that they might not get a chance to. Basically, I think replays are just like a net good.
Yeah, and especially when they're up like that. How much were they up when
they were up by like 80? It definitely should have been a replay.
It was like 90 to 20, I think, is what he lagged out. He lagged out before the lower pipes hardpoint, I believe, popped.
The only other idea I liked about that was playing to a certain amount of points.
I wasn't watching. They got 249 points. Are you telling me they went from 90 to 249 with 4 people?
Yeah. Yes. We were getting fried.
They were
like, so this is what happened. So we definitely thought they were. So like, if you hear our comms, which I think Mensa even hopped in our voice channel for a little bit. Like for a large part of it, like he joined for the second part, but we I think we just got overconfident. Like we were like, okay, they're down people, so we can just try to storm hill. It's the same basic thing that happened when we played South Carolina and we lost that 16-3. Like we get to that point where like we have an obvious advantage, and then we just play stupid. Like we just play like total fucking morons, and we don't team hit anything. And so it comes down to like, because we just in our heads we're like they're down a player, we can literally just storm in here, and so we end up doing it one at a time and just feeding streaks instead of actually team hitting shit.
That's what we do when we get 249 and we need to rotate to the last hill.
Yeah,
twice.
I heard about that. You guys
we did against you and South Carolina in the same like back-to-back days.
Yo, I want to go around with a question real quick because I want to spice up. I like when we call out specific teams that gets them interested, right? Like they want to come in. So, in y'all's opinion, whether it's a high or mid-tier team, who is the most underrated team in the CCL?
Underrated?
Underrated. That gets no respect, but is actually a contender in whatever aspect, high, mid-tier, whatever.
I think I want to see I want to see Cincinnati play some more, but I haven't heard like anybody talk about them. But apparently they're nasty.
Ohio State said something about them earlier, and it was not kind words.
Wait, what did we say? What? And I'll add to that real quick.
I said Cincinnati.
I think Wes was joking around, maybe. I don't know. But Navy, Butler, and Humber all don't get their time of day, and all those teams are like pretty good on their best days. On those best days, they can take maps off of the best teams in here.
I think Humber. I thought everybody knew Humber was disgusting.
Yeah, Humber's just.
If they didn't, then they're underrated.
I was gonna say
Navy and Butler for sure, but Butler plays so bad when they play bad that it makes people like think they suck. But like when they play good, they play really good.
We played Butler last night in a scrim, and they were not looking amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, when they play bad, they play really. They're the most inconsistent team, but definitely Butler and LU Navy don't get their time of day.
I would say Navy, and I would have said my team going into this week, but after this week, it's kind of like, I guess, justified where people are putting us. But I'd probably say Navy.
See, I have Humber in my top 5 right now. I'm not gonna lie, top 3.
Okay, you're getting a little. You're losing me.
I know.
You're losing me.
I watched their play. I think it's fair play to say that they're actually in the top tier teams, and that's where it can be thrown into toss-ups.
You're losing me.
I want to see them play.
know.
I want to see them play some comp. Who have they played?
They lost 3-2 to Toronto.
They beat us 3-1.
It was their first week as a team. They lost 3-2 to Toronto. So if everyone's that big on Toronto and Toronto's that good, then how'd they take a map 5? That's all I'm gonna say. They took a map 5 with 0 practice. So
wait, where's Humber at?
Not that good.
Canada.
Deserves a lot more respect.
We took a map off them too, right? What map did we take off of them? We must take it to search because that's the only game that we're good at.
We beat them in
you took game 2, I think, off of them.
Yeah, because they were only good at search. So.
And they had never played. And think about it, they're both in Canada, right? So you can't say Toronto and Humber was a host war where they were just throwing each other back and forth. It was even. So all I'm saying is they took them game 5 fair and square with no practice or very little.
I think they're really good, but I don't know if they're top 3.
That's a contender in my opinion.
I think top 3 is a stretch, but I think
I'd say
top 5's a possibility.
Yeah, top 5, top 6.
Top 6, yeah.
You know who I think is underrated? And this is probably going to be controversial too.
Oh, no.
The staff team.
No, I want to hear it.
No.
Obviously.
I think GCC is very underrated.
Oh!
I think people just I think people just throw them at the 6th spot and say, yeah, they're a top tier team, but they're not going to beat Liberty or Toronto. I think they can take maps off anyone in this league.
I think they can take maps, but I don't think they can take matches.
Yeah,
I think they could take matches for sure.
Because like you got Shrek, who's absolutely like nutty, like not just skill wise, but like his internet's disgusting. And then you got Marv, who's inconsistent, but like he goes hard sometimes. And when he does good, he does really good. But like I think he's pretty inconsistent. Like from the times I played with him, sometimes he just plays really dumb. And then like the rest of their team's okay, but I don't think they're a top 5 team.
Wait, you got to include Impasta in the top part of that team too.
And Pasta's good too, but like it's just sometimes he's not. I don't know. I don't think they're a top 6 team personally. I think Navy's.
Would you say Navy's above Red? Oh, you Red?
I have no idea. I'd have to see them. I want them to play.
No,
I don't think so.
went-
I think if LU Red's playing their best, I don't think Navy beats them, but I think Navy's really good.
But
Navy's not
They went the
I want to
distance
see,
with
but
Red.
like Navy without Dan, I feel like really hurts them. Like Dan's not playing right now.
He played there last
He
week.
played
man.
yesterday, didn't he? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did he?
Dan.
Oh,
Dan,
he said he
Dan-
wasn't going to
Dan-
play yesterday.
So Dan
He
is
should-
still playing. He just is like, if I have to focus on school over COD, I'll do that. At least that's
I
what I was
respect
told
that.
from.
I respect that.
I watched 2 scrims I watched the league match versus Navy and the scrim versus Red that FSU just recently had. And I can tell you, I don't think Navy played that well against FSU. And I'm going to back it up again. I think FSU played exceptional for how they've been playing versus Navy. But Navy's not better than Red. I just think when you look at it, like when it comes down to it, there are players on Navy, I'll say it right now. There are multiple players on Navy better than the worst players on Red. And if they could make a roster change right now and trade players, that would help them tremendously.
They would get Dan on Red.
Yeah, when you have Toddy and Bo popping off, they're phenomenal players. They do more on the map than people see, even within the scoreboard. And I just don't see anyone on Navy be able to match that at this point. And
Yeah.
that's where it comes
So
from.
that's the thing. Navy has like I'd say Dan for sure is really good. They got KDs who goes off like on the stats card. I don't know off the stats card, but I think individually definitely Red is way better than Navy. Like 110% individual play. Red would wipe Navy any day. I just think Red needs to get like their shit together because it doesn't seem like they have been recently, and they've been losing stuff they shouldn't. And I mean that's the only reason I put Navy even in contention with Red, just because Navy plays really well together. But
Navy's a well-rounded team.
But
Red is
but
more
Red,
top heavy.
Red is definitely better than Navy.
Navy's
when Navy
well-rounded.
loses, it's a skill problem. When Red loses, it's typically a team chem problem. And
Yeah,
that's-
exactly.
It's a lot easier to fix team chemistry and bad individual team push and shit than it is to go back and fix lack of skill. That's what hurts a lot of CCL teams, in my opinion. When you have a lack
for
of
the sub,
talent at a certain position, that's really hard to fix. Opposed to a team like, I'm gonna go ahead and just spit it out there. You have a team like Toronto, Ohio State, where you don't have Humber, where you don't have a bad player. You just have someone underperforming. That might be team chem issues. That might be a team rotational issue, but that's not an individual skill problem. When you have to fix chemistry issues, that's easy. When you have to fix a skill problem,
Yeah, you
That-
can't
that's
really,
not-
you
that's
can't
not
do
really
that. You can't do that in the span we
not
have.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes back to
Was-
that coaching thing we were talking about in the chats the other day. Like you can't coach a player how to play COD in a couple
Yeah.
of weeks. Like it just doesn't. You can't teach someone how to play COD that quick.
Not at all. I mean, there's tons of examples where you just see, and what makes COD so hard is it's a team game, right? Like when it's your job to step up and either get that clutch kill, block that certain spawn. When it's your chance, because think about it, everyone's in a different part of the map. The map plays a different pace for everybody. Someone's in a prime position to make the best play on the map. And if that guy that's in that position to make the best play possible right now, or is in the position to make the key play, is your worst player or someone that doesn't recognize what the best play is, that screws the entire team. And if your best player is in a bad position at that moment, that can screw you for a whole 60. That can screw you for streaks. There's so much that can stem from that, and that's what makes COD hard. If you got one of those guys, there's a lot of time the other four, there's nothing they can do about it, and that's tough. That's tough.
Who would you guys say is the most underrated, or like one of the most underrated players in the CCL?
Underrated.
That's
players.
tough.
To me,
Right.
I think it's
I
visuals.
think I think
I
everybody
think
gets their time
visuals
of
does
day.
not get near the amount of like
I agree with
gas
that.
he deserves. Like that
I
dude plays
agree
out
with
of
that.
his mind most maps, and like I never like the thing about him is like he doesn't say anything, so like it's hard to even like remember him basically because like he doesn't talk in chat, he doesn't like interact with people. But the dude, I don't think he's had one negative map. Like the dude plays out of his mind every game that we've played, and
Yo,
just quiet about it.
I'm gonna go on a limb here, right? Like, it may seem obvious after the last series he played, but before this, no one would have said this. So I'm gonna go with Slacky, right? If you watch the actual VODs and you watch the gameplay, Slacky has played around certain players, whether it be spawns for his main AR, entries with his Saug. Slacky's played the game the right way and made a lot of very good on the map plays from day one, but he all the time picks up the role of a support player throughout a lot of his scrims, a lot of his game modes. And it's gotten him screwed because either his main Saug, his main AR, whatever the play was, made a bad play and it screwed him over too. And when people started saying, "Oh, Slacky's not that good," he got on his passion grind, started playing a little more for himself. You saw what he did against Ohio State.
Wait, it was only Lou. Lou was the only person saying Slacky wasn't good.
All right, maybe
Wait,
it's just
what?
Lou did it. Maybe Lou lit
When
him
did
up.
I say Slacky was not good? Hold on.
Wait, no,
I missed
that was
that
Curb.
one.
That was Curb. I lied. That was Curb, not Lou.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
I
just
missed
heard
that one.
someone said it. All I'm saying is Slacky has been made a lot of the right support plays for a long time. And when you get to a team where everyone makes the right plays, you need good support players. So I'm gonna say Slacky right now would help any team in the league because he makes the right plays on the map, and that's tough. That's not everyone does that.
Yeah.
Anyone can be an all-star. But
I
not
think
everyone
I think there are more overrated players than underrated players. Like I think Slacky gets his gas. Like Slacky, they tell him he's good a lot. I think there's like a few people who might not think he's good, but I think most people know.
All right, so who do you think's the most overrated player?
Well, I still have, I still have mine for
Someone has to go
underrated.
there.
For underrated, I was still gonna say Dev from my team.
He is underrated
Yeah,
too.
I feel like
nasty.
he doesn't talk to anybody in the chat. He's
Yeah.
played, he never goes negative. He's in the last week he's played 3 roles and 3 different specialists because everything he played got GA'd or moved.
Damn,
And I think
he's
Dev
nasty.
is pretty overrated.
JPRO.
Yeah, you're
Nah,
right.
Dev
But-
is nasty. I agree. He's
Dev
underrated.
is insane, and he switched to PlayStation
Yeah, the fact that
like
UTK,
a week into the season.
the fact that UTK does so good surprises me. Like after in the beginning of the game playing tens with everybody, the fact like they play good together, like it surprised me because like I didn't think any of them, but besides for Stainless who would like destroy you, I didn't think anybody on the team was any good. And I haven't watched their games or anything, but like a couple of them have to be kind of underrated if they're winning
Scars has
stuff.
been playing out of his mind lately for some reason. We don't know
Did you
why.
guys? Did
He's
you
just
guys
been
pick up
playing
Switchy?
crazy. Yes, we switched
You
him
did
to a
pick up
starter
Switchy?
over Alliance this week
Okay.
That was a
after we
good
played
move.
Eagle.
Yeah, that was a good
Well,
move.
we didn't want to do it, but Alliance came to us and he's like, "I'm not playing well enough. I'm benching myself for Switchy." So
I mean, that's
he
nice.
can't- I mean, we told him he didn't have to because we want him on the team, but he thinks it'd be best for us, and we played better versus South Carolina. We just didn't rotate for final hill on gridlock. We didn't get the tick. We were 243 with 7 seconds left, and we didn't get the tick over, and we lost. We
That's
should have won
always
at map
tough.
5 with that. But
That's always a tough
and
one.
we had 0 practice going into South Carolina, and we 100-point clubbed on map 1
Damn.
on their host, and then they switched hosts.
Fucking Neox says UTK players themselves aren't that good, but they have really good team chem. See, I don't know if I agree with that. When we played them, like individual gun skill is what kept them even shooting back at us.
Wait, UTK?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gassing it 'cause he's on here. Your Saug player is your most important player, and Stainless gets so many entries and so many key picks on opening lanes that the rest of their jobs are easy. It's easy. When your Saug player's making the right plays on the map, avoiding stupid lanes and getting entries and getting you that first pick on engagements, all you must do is rotate, not be dumbasses. So Stainless makes UTK good.
And
That's
we just picked up a
agree.
second Saug who's he's pretty good, so hopefully he'll take
You
some
need
leave
to-
off
you
me.
need
Yeah,
to-
Switchy's
you
pretty
need
good.
to.
Yeah, Switchy's good, and he's been running a Saug for a week, and he's already
Yeah, didn't he run main AR before? 'Cause I
he
played
was a
some-
main AR before he came to
Yeah,
before we
he
picked him
was
up,
moving
but now we have
Yeah.
4 main ARs.
I only
running a
disagree. You don't
SOG.
need 2 SOGs if you don't run a SOG. Frequency control. Never run a SOG.
We've had 2 of our main
3
ARs
IC,
running
IC,
Saugs in the
nice,
last
don't worry
week.
about it.
I think two Saugs allows you to outpace people. I'm not gonna lie, in this game, I think that's big.
Nope.
That's
I
why
got
we played so
frequency
well against
control,
South
you run
Carolina.
3
on
ICRs. I'm
frequency.
telling you right now. It's the meta.
All right, look, 3. True. That's only 'cause our Saugs are stupid and overpeaked you. If they would have held what was theirs, they would have done a little different. Like, I think 2 Saugs is a good meta. I just don't think FSU is good at control on frequency. I think 2 Saugs, though, as in general, I think you see it with Joppo and Sammy. They have a good 1-2 punch. I don't think a lot of other teams have a good 1-2 punch at Saug. And I think that's important because you either have one good Saug or you have, like, one Saug that's good, but you're baiting him because he's the only Saug and he's playing the fastest.
Yeah.
I think you need 2.
I agree. All right, we've run in a little over an hour, so we're going to do what we always do to wrap it up. Everybody's got to give their top 10. We're going to start with Stainless because he's in my top left. Stainless, top 10 teams.
Emerald, Toronto, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Red, LU Red, Navy, Onyx, Humber,
Is that 10? I don't know. I can quit.
no, it's 8. South Carolina. Fuck it, I'll put us at 10.
All right.
Just because I want us it to be mentioned at one point.
All right, Momentus, go ahead, bud. Your top 10.
Was that in order?
Mine was.
Yeah, he
Alright,
put his in order. So.
So right now, personally, I think. Well, actually, I don't know. Right now, I would. It's so hard.
Can you pull up notes? I gotta rewrite my top 10.
It's hard because a lot of people are basing Ohio State's rank off their one loss
No shot I rank off.
because that's like the best team they've played.
Dude, I think. I don't know, man. So based solely off what I've seen and how we played against certain teams, how certain teams played against us, I want to say Toronto would be number 1, but like they haven't played in a while. So if we're going off right now, like at this very moment, I'll put Ole Miss at 1. Just because like right now they're playing really good. I don't think they're I don't think they're the best skilled overall. Like I don't think they have 5 players who can actually keep up all the time. I think they have 2 to 3 players who can keep up all the time, but I think they are lacking at the bottom half. But Ole Miss, and then it's got to be Toronto or Emerald for 2. Personally, like I don't know, I don't want to bring scrims into it, but like we smoked FSU and it was on our host, so that doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But like, I don't know. I think FSU is really good, so I'll put them at 2 with Toronto, and then I'll put us, and then I'll put Red, and then I'll put Navy, and then after that, I don't think the teams really stand a chance. But I don't really know beyond that.
Fair enough. All right, Lou,
Gotcha.
what you got?
I got Rutgers at 1. No, I'm kidding.
That's a never mind fucking list right there. Georgia Southern's 1. All right, everybody else.
All right, but seriously, I have Emerald at 1. I don't really think there's an argument right now for Emerald at 1. Like, you might be able to argue for Toronto, but unless they play, you kind of have to put Emerald at 1 right now, just based on who they've beat. I have Toronto at 2, Ole Miss at 3, Ohio State 4, Liberty Red 5, Onyx 6, Navy 7, Humber 8, South Carolina 9, and Cincinnati 10.
Fair enough. JPRO, what you got?
All right, I wrote this down while y'all were talking, so I can think about it a little bit. I got Emerald at 1, like Lou said. I don't think there's an argument. I think Emerald's just officially the best team right now in the current state, other than control gameplay, which doesn't make sense.
Only the right maps.
I mean, true. Like 80% of these teams get better.
I've told everyone the maps.
We could only play Hacienda. We'd be awesome.
Alrighty, so Emerald's 1. I got Ole Miss at 2. Ole Miss has really impressed me these past couple of weeks. Like, albeit they lost like a close series to LU Navy, I think they had an off day. I think everybody's entitled to like that day where they're just not playing the greatest. But I think they're the second best team right now. Toronto's 3. Ohio State at 4, Humber at 5, South Carolina
Humber.
at 6.
Oh, I forgot Humber. I completely forgot.
South
Humber.
Carolina at 6, LU Red at 7, Onyx at 8, Cincy at 9, LU Navy at 10. Honorable mention UTK.
You have Humber
I'll
2
take
spots
it after
above
the week we
LU
had.
Red.
Yeah, bro.
I'll take honorable mention after our week.
I put Humber up there with LU Red and Navy. I forgot. To...
Humber's nasty. Like even though like they dropped an S&D, their respawn looked great.
I don't think they're top 4 just because I think they have a deadweight on their team. I could be wrong, but
I put them at 5th.
my
So.
personal opinion.
I don't think they have a dead weight anymore.
Yeah.
I think they still kind of have somebody who doesn't play the game the best.
Wait, on LU Red?
No,
Humber.
Humber. I think they
On
still have
Humber?
one kid who might not be.
I was with that too
great.
until I watched the last series, and now I kind of like retracted my statement.
No,
They all-
yeah, everybody
they-
thinks
they all
Humber
play
has
good
one.
now?
Everybody thinks Humber has one coster, and they don't.
Yeah,
They-
I
they're all
played their
good
most.
now?
they
I
used
played
to,
the
and then they
most
switched.
recent iteration of their team. They don't have a bona fide worst player.
Yeah, they used to, but now they don't.
Yeah. Wait,
Alright,
is this my turn?
Yep, Gentry, what you got?
All right, so I want to start by saying Slacky supports my top 10 every week, so that means a lot to me. All right, so now I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to give my reasoning behind every single. So at 1, I have Emerald because they have the most top 10 wins, and until proven otherwise, like I have to go with them. Second, I have Toronto just because they haven't lost. That could obviously change. At 3, I have Humber. I was impressed by their gameplay, the speed they played at. I know this is my only wild card. I was impressed by the speed they played at. I've watched a lot of games against Rutgers and GSU. I was impressed. They don't have the weak link I thought they did, and I think they can actually outplay a lot of teams if they actually practice. At 4, I have Ole Miss, but here's the thing about Ole Miss too. If Ole Miss's Saugs play well, they're a T3, T4 team. If their Saugs get shit on, they're lucky to be in the top 8. I'm going to say that right now. It's not about slacky opponents, it's about their Saugs. At 5, I have Ohio State. I want to say this exactly. I'm going to make this clear too. If Ohio State plays to their potential, I think they're the 1 or 2 every single week. I think because they didn't play a team in the top 15 for so many weeks, they got complacent. They didn't play. They thought everyone sucked. And they finally ran into a top 5 team after not playing anyone good, and it was just a blindside. I think they'll be better. Next, I have LU Red. Again, when you have 2 players you play around, like Bob and Toddy, and they're not playing well, it's tough to win series. If they come back, I think they're easily, again, a T4 team. It's just not right now. After that, at the 6th spot, I have LU, might be 7. I have LU Navy. I think they've really improved the most of the team besides anyone in this entire thing. That doesn't need explanation. This is my most overrated team at the 8th spot. I have GCC, and this can go flip-flop with my 9, but I think GCC has solid players across the board, but they lack the superstar to play around. I think other teams have someone that can really take over a game. GCC, there's no one that's going to take over a game, and on host, that's a problem. You need someone that can get streaks. You need someone that can be a dominant force. They lack that. At 9, I got GCU. They've been getting disrespected. They've been winning maps. They've been dominant. You can't control who you play. And GCU got, whether it's host wars or not, they beat USC, who I'm a big fan of. They're my 9. They deserve some respect now. And then at 10, I have USC. They made the roster change. They got rid of their worst player. They brought in the Wraith. He's been really good for them. He's been some of their best player overall. Whether the host wars or GCU are a thing or not, they've been competing against every top team taking maps. They're my 10, and I think that top 10 is a good amount above the rest. An honorable mention, I want to see UTK after the roster change. That's my top 10.
We're gonna watch this. We played with it against South Carolina.
I did, and I enjoyed it.
We just had no practice going into that with the new roster.
Yeah, obviously, it just happened. It's USC 1-3-1, right?
Yeah, we should have went map 5. We choked an 80-point lead on Gridlock.
Yeah, and the S&D wasn't close because you guys had literally just made the change.
We've never played that map.
Yeah,
and
so
we've
like
just made a
that
change.
is my teams that I'm looking at to actually make a difference. And like I said, the teams that are ranked lower, like OSU and LU Red, that'll change. It was a few rough weeks, bad practice, whatever. But that's my top 10 and my reasons why. So,
All right.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. And then like you said, like we haven't played anybody good. Like we didn't necessarily think people were bad either. We just like
it's easy to get complacent.
We haven't been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened to us too.
And like, right? Like it makes sense. Like,
yeah.
We had 3 forfeit wins in the last 3 weeks. We didn't practice at all either.
The same thing. I could see the same thing happening in Toronto. Toronto hasn't played this last week, I think, and I don't think they played the week before. I could be wrong because Millsy's been out of town, and I don't think they've played together in a while. So I think like Toronto might hit one of the. They play us, so like that's going to be a really weird game,
Like,
just because neither of us have played in forever.
Like I'm not gassing Ohio State, but like what I rank them is that's not every player's potential. The potential of these teams.
No, yeah, I agreed with you. Yeah, 100%.
There's teams that have played to the highest part of their level that are starting to reach the peak of their careers and playing well chemistry-wise, and they're ranked as high as they're ever going to get. And there's teams that are extremely talented and can be top 2. I'm going to go ahead and just call out Ohio State again. That should never be outside of top 2, but they're being complacent, lazy, and their gameplay is pretty piss poor because they're not communicating, making the right plays on the map together, and that can change. So there's a big difference between a team that's at, performing at the lowest level and a team that's playing at their best and might not improve, but they've reached their peak. So that's, a lot can change, and it will change.
And that's the one reason I ranked Ole Miss ahead of Toronto and Emerald is because I think Ole Miss is playing at their top potential right now. I think Ole Miss is playing incredible right now, but like on another week, Emerald could easily be ahead of Ole Miss just because Emerald overall their talent is like more spread out. They all have like people who can all hold their own, and I think Ole Miss lacks like a full 5 that could always hold their own.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Ole Miss played phenomenal this week. That was some of the best play of Ole Miss that I think we've seen, and that's the best I think Ole Miss has ever looked. But with that said, I'm not trying to keep hammering on the Saug point of, I'm not trying to keep hammering on the Saugs, but like when Ole Miss's Saugs play well and get these entries and play the right way, they're gonna be a top team and they're gonna contend for the chip. If their Saugs are dropping 0.7s and when their Saugs are dropping 0.7s, not winning entries, not holding the right parts of the map, and allowing their other players like Armstrong, who can go off if given the right parts of the map to hold, if their Saugs aren't playing the right way, you're literally hoping Poner drops a strike team, which is now gone. You're hoping Poner drops something.
A gunship.
Yeah, you're hoping Poner drops a gunship. Otherwise, you're losing. So with Ole Miss, I'm looking at them to like, if they play the way they did against Ohio State and they keep that fire, they're a contender. If they drop off the slightest bit, they're not. Yeah, so that's how I'm. And there's a lot of teams like that. There's the 1 or 2 guys that are key players, and you need them to play at that certain level, or they're not going to contend.
That's red. That's red.
That's red too.
They need their top 2 guys to go off, or they're not gonna do anything.
Exactly. You need at most is holding down trades from Bo. You need frequency playing at the same pace as Toddy, following up on a lot of these Saug plays. And if they do it, and their team chemistry is on point, and they're pacing at the same point, they're going to be good. And if they're off, they're not going to win. And it's like there's key players on a lot of these teams that like they can't be dropping 0.7s, they can't be off pace, they can't be behind the team. And if they are, they're not going to be a top 5 team. And if they are, then yes, that is a team that I don't care who's playing them, Toronto, Emerald, CCL, Jesus, it doesn't fucking matter. They're gonna be able to take max. It's just a matter of can these teams actually scrim and get their stuff together, and that's so many teams, man.
I think that's the main problem right now is like there's a pace difference between like the people who are really skilled in the game and the people who aren't as skilled. Like some kids are wanting to just keep going like as fast as they can, and then other kids are just like sitting back playing way too slow for their teammates.
Yo, I don't want to call anyone out this late in the stream, but I'm going to go ahead and call teams out. The top teams have gotten complacent. I'm going to be the one to say it. The top teams are complacent. They either have won a lot or they have an easy schedule and they're not trying that hard. And the middle tier teams have grinded. So I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Top tier teams are not playing to their peak, the majority of them. And middle tier teams, they can do better. I just don't want to see them give up because they've reached the edge and they quit out. Middle tier teams that have pushed to the edge and are starting to push these top tier teams, there's more they can do. I want to see them do it. I want to see them scrim more. And I want to see them fill all these small problems that are keeping them from being a top 3 team.
Who is it?
Gentry hasn't got his
South
fix
Carolina.
people off yet today.
Better break down the small bots. Why are you spawning out? What are the small mistakes that one of you is making? Quit making them. Beat these top tier teams. You can do it. You're 20 points away. You're 30 points away. You're this close. You're just not into the fine detail, the fine print of how you're playing the map. Start focusing on it. It's no longer about kills. It's about how you position yourself to get these kills. It's about how are you losing these spawns, not just losing there. It's all about positional and situational gunfights. And I think that's the difference. Middle tier to top tier, high middle tier. It's situational 1 to 5 plays a map that determine everything. And if they can fix those, they're going to be top tier. But they have to fix those small 1 to 5 mistakes a map.
I agree. And you should coach.
How much I gotta pay you to sit on a scrim?
Yeah, right? Like, I need this kind of, like, breakdown in my games. Hold up.
I mean, I don't have the attention span of a goldfish, but I mean, I'll give you 30 minutes of my day most days.
All right, my top 10 before we wrap this up because we're about to hit the hour and a half mark. FSU is my top team, or Emerald, whatever you want to call them. I think they're
Not
just the
FSU.
best team. Yeah, whatever.
Not FSU.
They're at the top. I think Toronto's probably next. I think I agree with you on Toronto, but I think Ole Miss is above Humber. I think it's Humber then Ohio State, but I think those are interchangeable. I want to see like how they play against each other. Like now with new rosters and stuff, I think that'll be a close match. Let's see, that's 5, right? 4, 5, whatever. Next, I would put LU Red. Then I think South Carolina's still higher than I think most people give credit to. I think they're a really top team. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing in the top list?
Onyx.
A lot, like 6 teams so far.
Yeah, I know. But I think let's see. I said FSU, Toronto, Ole Miss, Humber, Ohio State. After that, I think I think I put South Carolina over Onyx. I think if they play on a neutral, I think South Carolina can take Onyx. I'm going South Carolina, then Onyx.
No.
I'm not sure who I would put at 9th, to be honest, but Cincinnati would be up there. I think either 9th or 10th. I think Cincinnati is a really nasty team, but they just don't get a lot of credit for it. But I think I'm going to put Navy above them. Or did I say LU Red yet?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay, so then I put Navy above Cincinnati. But yeah, that'd be mine. And I think an honorable mention should be us because I think we beat UTK and everybody else said UTK. So I'm giving myself the honorable mention on that.
Feels
since we beat
bad.
them.
I mean, y'all would be good if you like scrim together, you know.
Wait, can I give an honorable mention real
Sure,
quick?
go ahead. Give honorable mention.
All right, they're not in the league, but I'm going to give it to 2 teams. Texas A&M had 3 players on the team that we beat Emerald with in a scrim on their host.
Here we go.
I know.
Here we
I was
go.
going to gas them, but I'm flipping over to another team. I know Emerald sucks, or Not FSU sucks at scrims, but like a month ago, Boulder like 19-0'd us in scrims. We lost every map by like 1,000,000 points. So I'm going to say Colorado, Boulder, and Texas A&M. I know they're not in the league, but like when it comes back around, or these summer leagues come around, look at those players because they have players that can compete. And there's some of the guys, those are my sleeper picks that people don't know about because they're not as involved. But if they decide to be involved, they have dudes.
Your
Texas
team
A&M
is
is
not
like-
happy. Your team is in chat saying they got a pro. They're like, he's
people,
like, they got a
people
pro.
keep talking about Cincy. There was 2 instances. Once against us in a match and once against Ole Miss in a match. We were in the 3rd round of control. We were up 2-0 and Ole Miss was up 2-0. And Cincy was jumping off the map, like just killing themselves at the end of the game. I don't know why.
What the fuck?
Yeah, against us and against Ole Miss, they were jumping off
That's
the map
wild.
in
I did
round
not know
3
that.
to get 3-0'd.
Gentry's logic is that Texas A&M's nasty because they hopped in Llama God's Jansport and went for a ride.
Whoa.
Against Florida State.
Relax.
Hold on. He only top fragged 1 map. I'm gonna call up my team.
He's running fire break into
His team was
Saugs.
shaking, dude.
Emerald is crazy.
FSU was shaking
Right,
because
babies.
Llama was
They
on
had
their team.
host and they only top fragged 1 map. They just clean got smoked. They didn't rotate. Their Arsenal game is terrible, and they got outslayed on frequency. Gridlock, he carried us. I'm not gonna lie to you there. But the first 2 maps, they lost fair and square. They had host. They didn't play well. They're just mad about the criticism. I mean,
You know Gentry loves playing devil's advocate because like one day he's gassing the hell out of them.
It's so
Gentry's
true.
life goal is to stir up as much drama
Just stir
in
up the
CCL
pot,
as he
bro.
possibly can.
That's just his game, bro.
here to give the heat, baby.
All right,
Literally
boys.
this morning, Gentry goes, not enough people are taking my bait. I'm on body shots.
All right, boys. I'm gonna call it. I appreciate you guys all coming on. It was a great episode. We talked about a lot of like actual
cutting out.
substance.
You're
Fuck.
cutting out real bad.
That's
Restart.
All
fine.
right. I was just
Restart.
saying, appreciate you guys for being on. We got to talk about some actual substance for once and actually like break
Yeah.
down teams and stuff. Really appreciate you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thank you guys for coming on. It's been fun. Stream.
thanks,
Thank
man.
you guys for all hanging out. It's been real. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully, assuming I don't forget. Bye, guys.